Oh, hello, hello. Hey, hope you're all doing okay. All right, hey guys, how you doing? We got a nice stream today. Not that we don't always have a great stream, but we're gonna have an even better stream every single time. The plan is simple. Deepfakes everywhere. We're just gonna get right into it right now. Viewers, money makes the world go round. We all know this. You need it to survive. You need it to live. You need money to do anything in this world. And you know who doesn't have a lot of money? Zoomers. Zoomers. Gen Z, also known as Zoomers, have already experienced financial turbulence in their young adult lives. Gen Zers have felt the effects, with 42.6% having spent more than they've earned and 39.8%, almost 40%, that's almost half, have not invested any money at all. So, we just established everyone needs money. You need money to survive. Zoomers don't have any money at all. Well, why don't they have money? What are they doing? Are they doing things to save money? Well, they are. They're also living at their parents' house because they don't have any money. Share of young adults living with parents rises to levels not seen since the Great Depression era. 52% of 18 to 29-year-olds are still living with their parents. So they don't have any money. They don't have a social life. They don't have a need to gain any money. And they're just living with their parents. And it's a hard time to get a job. So right now, it really sucks. You need all this to survive. And it seems like everything's out to get you. But hear me out. Aries, after studying for a day, have figured out how you, a Zoomer, can make money from your parents' house. Are you ready? What if I told you you could make thousands of dollars by scrolling on Reddit all day? Don't believe me? Well, this is now reality, because Reddit is going to let you turn your gold into money. That's right. By being a Redditor, you might be able to become a millionaire. Not really, but let me explain. If you've never been on Reddit before, Reddit is a place where you can share, post new media to different subreddits or different sub communities. And if they like your post, they can give you a thing called an upvote, which is equivalent to likes in other places, or downvote, which is equivalent to dislikes in other places. So to put this as simply as possible, upvote equals money. So if you guys would kindly help me out and give me some upvotes, that would be much, much, much appreciated. And you know, this makes a lot of sense for Reddit. A lot of places which are built and just can only survive off the content creation of their users, like YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, have some payment model to help out, you know, to incentivize more people to use your service. So it only makes sense that Reddit would have some equivalent. It seems like once they put this into effect, then it'll only count for all the new gold you gain after that. So if you have anything now, sucks to suck. You gotta become a Redditor again. But if you do this, you farm that Reddit karma, baby. You get all the upvotes. You get all the money. Then what happens? You can become this. You're a Sigma male. Money is literally flying from the sky as you sit in your chair in your new Versace suit. What are you going to do? You need a place to spend that money. But you know what? I keep saying you need a place to spend the money. You need something to spend it on. But what's the point of spending all that money if you don't have someone to share it with? I have your solution. You go on Tinder, okay? And you find a place to spend all your money. Tinder Select is a $500 per month plan for Tinder's 1%. That's you. That's you right now. Now that you got all the Reddit karma in the world. Now, was Tinder not good for you now? What if I told you it could get slightly better? What if I told you now you could get rejected by even more ladies if you pay us $500 more? Sound good? I give you more rejections. You give me $500. This sounds like a good trade deal to me. So the way it works, from the way I understand it, is that when you pay the $500, you'll now be able to communicate with people which rejected you outright. Which seems like I can see a lot of women on Tinder not liking this. Which isn't the best feeling too, because for dating app, we all know the key to winning dating apps. The key to winning dating apps is the winning over women. And this seems like something that only appeals to the men. Which I get is 75% of the user base, but if you want a successful dating app, it's all about getting women to sign up. Okay, the guys are gonna show up no matter what. Okay, we know how this works. And it sounds like women would not like this. I'm not a woman, but I feel like if I rejected a guy and then I saw that guy able to text me anyway, I wouldn't want to use his app anymore. But ladies, tell me. I don't know. Tell me. Tell me what you think about this. I feel like I wouldn't like this. Yeah, just looking at demographics too. 75 million people use Tinder. Okay. Men are 22 times more likely to become paid users than women. Tinder statistics say that 20% of the profiles are also fake. So imagine spending $500, you're a guy, you spend $500 to communicate with that girl who rejected you. You text her only to realize she's just ChatGPT. Why? Oh man. I mean, what do they say? I would do anything for love, right? I can get it, but I also can't get it. But you know what? Maybe Tinder is not the answer for you. You need a love, you want that companion, but you don't like talking to people because you're a Redditor, obviously. So, what is the solution? Well, I got one for you. ChatGPT can now talk to you and look into your life. You know what this means? We are one step removed from her. Now, if you don't know this movie, guys, this movie basically about this guy falling in love with his phone. And by phone, I mean this artificial AI. No, I'm not kidding. And when this movie came out, I feel like this movie is way ahead of its time. Where you watch this movie and like, this can't happen. Okay, a guy cannot fall in love with his phone. I know she's voiced by Scarlett Johansson. I know it's voiced by Mindy from the SpongeBob movie, but there's no possible way this could happen. And every day, I'm more convinced it's going to happen sooner and sooner. If it's not already happening now. Oh, wait. Why did I say that? I know it's happening now because Janitor AI lets you talk to your virtual boyfriends, indulge in erotica. Check out this controversial, not safe for work chatbot. So these are already real things. I didn't really understand the hype of this. Then I read a little bit more about it. And it said it features multiple personalities such as Miles Morales from Earth 42, a mafia boss, Simon Goes Riley from Task Force 141, Kratos from God of War, Deadpool, and more. It also has female personalities, wait a minute, such as Freya from God of War, Gwen Stacy, anime characters, and more. Through chat prompts, users set up the AI personality upbringing journey so far. Okay, before I sat down and started streaming, and before I did this PowerPoint presentation, I wanted to actually use Janitor.ai on stream. And after seeing some of the stuff on it and talking for like a second, I don't think I'm allowed to show some of the stuff I saw on this site on stream. Let me just put it that way. But anyway, I hope this is getting across that people are falling in love with their robots, falling in love with their phones, probably going to marry their phones, okay? And if I can talk to Gwen Stacy or Freya from God of War, then I get it. I fucking get it. Okay. But speaking of hearts, I got more stories about hearts, specifically a heart transplant. Scientists have been crazy because they have figured out how to do a heart transplant on a man. You don't seem that interested in that. I don't understand. Oh, sorry, I forgot. It wasn't a human heart. He got a heart transplant. It was a pig heart. We know how to transplant animal parts into human parts. I don't know how we did that, but that's really fucking cool. From my research, it seems like the guy only lived for a couple of hours after that, but that was way longer than the last time we did that. So that's pretty cool. I don't really know a lot of people who just willingly donate their hearts. So we could just do animal stuff. That'd be kind of cash money. But going from one pig to another, I got a story about a pig. Well, I shouldn't say pig. He's misunderstood Coomer. Let me put it to you that way. He had a problem. He had a peeping Tom problem. This is a story about how a digital peeping Tom unmasked porn actors. And this is a quote by him. It's like the secret identity of Batman or Superman. You're not supposed to know who the person is. They didn't want you to know. Somehow they found out. So this story is about a guy named David, and he has an addiction. Ever since he was a kid, he had spent countless hours of his life on the internet searching for naked photos of women and videos of them having sex. Okay, sounds pretty normal so far. At some point, he began to want more. So he went outside and started talking to real women, right? You want to know who the women really were, to dig beyond their pseudonyms, to see what they were like in real life. Someone had shared a photo of a porn actress out of character, clothed and smiling in a news article. Asked how he found it, the person posted a link to Premise, a free facial recognition site. This guy found this site where he was able to enter a porn star's name or photo, and then figure out all the real information about them. Now, this isn't as big of a deal now, in my opinion, because I feel like a lot of porn actors are very public. Seems like they're very open about having an OnlyFans. There's a lot of stigma, it seems. It seems like a lot of people are just more used to the idea that people do more sex work. I think it's an overall positive thing. So it doesn't seem like as big of a problem anymore, but still not okay. Not okay. Invasion of privacy doesn't seem like the best way to go about this. But there's more. We have some reactions of what happens when you do this to some of these ladies. When a recent landlord found out about Darling's adult film work, she refused to renew Darling's lease, leaving her scrambling for a new place to live. But again, landlords can get rid of you for any reason. So it seems like it's just stigma. Get rid of them because they just do sex work. It can be extremely difficult to remove naked photos of yourself from the internet. Search engines such as Google have free request forms to exercise from a name search. What about a face search? That naturally was a service Premise provided for a price. Premise Protect Plan was advertised as a way to find photos you didn't know about. But one woman tried to get regrettable photos removed from a service called its personalized sextortion, which is kind of messed up, right? So Prims allows you to like search a face on a site to figure out all their real information. But then Prim is also saying, oh, you don't want us to do that anymore? Give us $80. That kind of sounds like blackmail. It kind of sounds exactly like extortion. So yeah, this really goes down to just facial recognition software. That's how it all starts. Being able to analyze a face and identify who it is. That's where all this technology stems from. I feel like there are a lot of things we don't want people to be able to do. The idea that anyone can just look at your face, has technology to just look at your face, identify you from anywhere at any time without your permission is not very good. I don't like that. It'd be very awkward if a government had that type of technology. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, of course, I forgot. The FBI has this technology. Everywhere has this technology because once you open the Pandora's box, that's just how it is. You can't unopen it. So as I was reading, the FBI was talking about how they had this technology and how I would hope that FBI, one of the biggest government organizations in the world, has access to a crazy amount of information about us, about citizens. So I really hope if they have this in their minds of great power comes great responsibility. I really hope they're thinking about this in the back of their heads because they have this technology which can do such great good or such great evil, which is why it really concerned me when the next thing I read was that FBI agents are using face recognition without proper training. So that really got me a little upset, but I'm not surprised. I have worked in a government agency before. I've seen some things before. I've had friends who worked in government agencies before. And what I realized is that a lot of people like to think that government agencies are really smart, really like intelligent, doing these grand century-long plans. And what I realize is that it's not. You have some smart people there. You have some dumb people there. Mostly average intelligence people there. Okay, that's what I learned. The FBI makes heavy use of facial recognition services like controversial startup Clearview app, but 95% of the agents using them have not completed the training on the technology. I get it. I really get it. For government jobs, you have to go through a lot of hoops. You had to do like a clearance check, you had to do a background check, you had to do like all this other stuff, all this other training, make sure you do it properly and all that. So I can imagine the training is very strenuous, which is why I got even more surprised when I realized that the training course is only 3 days long. It's a 3-day training course, and 95% of them decided that's too long. Only 5% of the 200 agents, that's 10 agents with access to technology, have taken the Bureau's 3-day training course on how to use it. The Bureau has no policy of facial recognition use in place to protect property, civil rights, or civil liberties. That's awesome too. Happy to hear that. Oh man, that the FBI, most of the agents, 95% of the agents are not qualified to use this technology. But my research, it seems like there are people who do really understand this technology very well and are using it for, well, you could be the judge of whether it's the best intentions or not. And these people are teenagers, but not just any teenagers, Spanish teenagers. In Spain, dozens of girls are reporting AI-generated new photos of them being circulated at school. My heart skipped a beat. So hopefully we can... Okay, so I don't know what you guys' views on the AI porn stuff are and the deepfake porn stuff are, but I hope we can all understand that the idea of circulating them around the school is pretty fucked up, right? Can we all agree to that? That's pretty messed up. I don't like it. And I'm not the only one who agrees with this. Like, ex-President Obama also agrees exactly pretty much with anything I'm saying right now.
Enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or How about this? Simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward, we need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet. That's a time when we need to rely on trusted news sources. It may sound basic, but how we move forward in the age of information is going to be the difference between whether we survive or whether we become some kind of fucked up dystopia. Thank you, and stay woke, bitches.
So I still love this video. I think great video still. This was 5 years ago too. Deepfake technology has gone so much better in those 5 years. Okay, and they were trying to warn us 5 years ago, and it seemed like no one really cared or took their warning that seriously afterwards. They saw, oh, this is pretty cool, and then didn't really do anything. We understand the problem now. We understand where we're at. So I think I want to get into our reoccurring segment on Tech Tuesday, which is, how does that work? Where I go into the math, the science, the tech behind all your dystopia technologies. Right now, we're going to go into how do you work for deepfakes. I split up into two different categories mainly. I split up the first into just how facial recognition stuff works, and the second one I broke it up into how the bigger picture deepfake technology works. But first things first, facial recognition. Okay, let's say you got this beautiful man over here. Okay, don't know who he is. Looks pretty cool to me. You have these pictures over here to the right, and you want to figure out, hey, is this picture over to the left inside this list of all the pictures to the right? Is he there? That's what you're trying to figure out. So the question becomes, how would you do this? Well, my first thought when I saw this was, oh, okay, I would look through each one and then really just compare each image one at a time. But when you compare each image, what exactly are you really doing? Images are basically just a matrix, okay? A matrix of just RGB values. RGB meaning how much red should you put in, how much green should you put in, how much blue should you put in into this pixel. And it does that each pixel by pixel. So let's go get some stats real quick. Let's say the width of the image is 1280 pixels. The height is 720. That means the total amount of pixels inside that image is 921,600, almost a million pixels. Then in the last thing I showed you 135 images. That's it. So we go pixel by pixel and compare each and every one to my original image to make sure that my image is not the same as that image. That's 135 times this huge number right here. And that would mean we have to do over 120 million pixel combinations for just 100 images. That's a fuckload of comparisons. You can imagine, we're not just gonna do 100 images, right? We're gonna do thousands, millions different photos of people every single day. That'll add up pretty quickly. So these guys are like, there has to be a better way to do this. Surely we can store an image in a better way than just these tons of just different pixels. So these guys thought of a different way to go about this. They realize that images are really just stored as a bunch of matrices. And when you want to do matrix math, then you probably have to do some linear algebra stuff. So these guys went into research that a little bit. I know, scary, math, numbers, matrix, but this is the most math in here, so just stay with me, okay? So what these guys realized is, let's say you had this matrix here, 4, 4, okay? And you have these two original matrices, okay? 1, 1, and 1, -1. Instead of just storing the full matrix like this, what if instead we just said, hey, these are our main matrices, and I somehow express this matrix right here as some kind of combination of these two? And you can in this case. You just do 4 times the first one, and then don't add anything to the second one. So 4v1 plus 0v2. Here's a general form. I know that's a lot of letters, but it's mainly just saying the same thing, but without any specific numbers. So that was the idea. So then the guys thought, okay, well, maybe we can do the same thing with images. And the idea is this. Informally, they are called eigenfaces. So eigenfaces can be considered a set of standardized face ingredients derived by statistical analysis of many pictures. Any human face can be considered to be a combination of these standard faces. So essentially, we're going back to this. These two would be the standard faces, okay? And then from these standard faces, you should be able to make any other possible face. So that's the idea. And these standard faces are called eigenfaces. The idea is that if you get enough images, make them like the standard images. These are the base images. And then when you say, hey, is my face in there? Or how do I store my face? You say, oh, your face isn't just a bunch of pixels in a matrix. Your face is just the easy combination of all these other base images. So an example here, you have this type of image, and you say, oh, this image isn't actually all these pixels. These images are actually -2 of this image, -1 of this image, 2 of this image, 0.03 of this image, -0.7 of this image, etc., etc. With this method, you can actually do now real-time checking of is this image in here? Because if this image is in here, then all you need to do is say, oh, this image is like a not 100% match of this image. Like the combination of this is just 1 in this base image and 0 in everything else. That's the idea here. So I actually wrote some stuff up. I got some celebrities. I wanted to make the celebrity faces, the base faces, and see like what I would be, like what would my combination be if I do a bunch of celebrities. And here's what I got. I think it's pretty accurate so far. It says I'm a 33% Idris Elba, 17% Brad Pitt, 42% The Rock, and a little bit of Michael B. Jordan. So I think it's pretty accurate if I'm being honest. I think it's pretty solid if I had to be honest. So that's how the facial recognition portion works. But now we're gonna go into the deep fake technology portion. If you don't know this one, this is this guy whose whole TikTok was all about deep faking Tom Cruise. So you have this original guy and you deep fake Tom Cruise's face on whatever he's doing. But how exactly does he do this? It does the facial technology behind the scenes, but it also does stuff a layer above that. So what's the layer above that doing? Well, it looks like this. The idea is you have this original face image, okay? Then you have two other things. You have something called the encoder and the decoder. The encoder is supposed to scramble up that original image, okay? And make it kind of like gibberish a little bit, okay? And turn it into this, latent face A. The decoder, it's supposed to do exact opposite of what the encoder does. These two decoders right here are really dumb. They don't know anything about encoding. They don't know exactly what the heck they're gonna get. They have no idea. So the idea is that after they do this enough times, decoder A gets really good at decoding original faces, original face A, okay? And decoder B gets really good at decoding face B. This one gets really good at decoding this one. This one gets really good at decoding this one. So then after these two train for a little bit, we then do this. Now since decoder A and decoder B are really good at their assigned jobs, now instead of going to where they're supposed to go, we now send original B right here, this encoded thing, into decoder A. And we now send this one into decoder B. So basically what they're saying is we get really good at knowing what original face A, what face A features are, and we get really good at what face B features are. And then we just, swap their decoders. So that's how you essentially put the face on top of one another. Hopefully that made some sense. I know it's a lot, but that was an idea here of how deepfakes work on a high level. This in combination with the facial recognition system. So if you want to get into deepfakes at all, it's mainly Deepfakes Lab, which is supposedly more than 95% of all deepfake videos are created with Deepfakes Lab. Don't know how true that is. Don't know if they quantify that at all, but that's what they claim. Another striking thing is that a report said number of experts crafted video deepfakes double every 6 months. And this was in 2021. That was exactly, pretty much exactly 2 years ago. So you can imagine it has doubled 4 times. It was 16x since then. And in my opinion, it's probably grown more. I couldn't find exact details about how many deepfakes there are in the world, I guess. But 2 years ago, I was not getting all these Trump, Biden, Obama, impossible quiz videos. So maybe it's a little more. I just want to stress something really big before I move on to the next thing, okay? I like to make fun. I like to do fun things here. I like to joke around. I like to explain things. That's what I do. Aries Explain. I want to stress one thing. New technology can be very scary. AI tools can be very scary. But I really don't want people to come away with this thinking all deepfakes are bad, all AI technology is bad, all new stuff is scary and bad. What I want to really stress is that AI is a tool. A tool can be used for good things. A tool can be used for bad things. And you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater because there are bad actors. And that's what I really want to stress here. That's my tangent for that. But I still have a few more stories going on. Speaking of AI, if you want to make a really good AI, you need a lot of data. And the only people that can really make a lot of data are these big tech companies. And one of these big tech companies is Facebook. And Facebook is in an interesting situation. Have you seen any of my Tech Tuesdays so far? The first ever Tech Tuesday, I think it was about a Google lawsuit. The second Tech Tuesday, I think, was about a Microsoft lawsuit. And the third one, this one, might be about a Facebook lawsuit. Facebook gonna get sued? Probably not, but they can. So basically all this is about is that there was an appeals court found that Section 230 doesn't prevent Facebook from getting sued for allegedly having discriminatory algorithm. So from what I understand, like Facebook and YouTube, they cannot be held responsible for all of the things that people put on their site. Just unreasonable. But what they have to do is they have to show they're making a reasonable effort that when they see something bad, they have to stop it. It seems that the court says, hey, you acknowledge this is bad, and you also know about it, which means you don't have your protection anymore. You can get sued for this. Facebook's like, oh, no, that's it. Not getting sued yet, but Tech Tuesday 4? I don't know. We'll just have to wait till next week. I'm going from one tech giant to another. Google Pixel 8. Google has a phone. I'm an Apple user. Am I an Apple user because I think Apple products are superior? Or am I an Apple guy because I've used Apple my entire life and every year I keep using it, it's harder and harder to switch? Who knows? But what I do know is that there was a leak. Oh, leakers. We just love the leaks. First with the Microsoft, now with the Google leak. And now there's a leak that Pixel 8 Pro deals show Google will throw in a Pixel Watch 2 for free. So that's cool. I know Apple had their big thing with Apple Watch. Now Google trying to throw in their mix with the, hey, Pixel Watch. Hey, we have a watch too. So makes a lot of sense. I will say, from reading about this, it seems like because they're going to do this possibly, that the Pixel 8 is going to be a lot more expensive than it would have otherwise be, because if you're going to throw in a watch too. Google, Pixel users, have fun with your new watch for your like couple $100 more expensive phone. And what can I watch on my phone, on my Google phone, or on my Apple phone, in fact? YouTube. I've seen a lot of weird videos on YouTube, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. Been down a lot of weird rabbit holes, okay? But this one's gotta be one of the weirdest stories yet. The bizarre cottage industry of YouTube obituary pirates. If you Google someone who died, you might see a flood of near identical videos of men reading obituaries. Here's why. If I had to explain it, it's money. It all comes back to money. So it seems like the plan here is that when somebody dies, they make a YouTube video basically saying, oh, we love this guy. This guy died. He was my bro. I loved him so much. If you want to help this family, donate money here. Which, to me, seems like some of the most scummy things a human being can do. But that doesn't stop these guys from doing that, from making a quick buck. From looking at these, it seems like a lot of them are noticeably bad. Get a lot of details wrong, are just bad made videos too. But it seems like they don't care about that. It seems like they're going for a scattershot, quantity way over quality approach. To quote Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, what I've learned from him is that people will spend the most amount of money on 3 separate occasions on their life. When somebody is born, when someone gets married, and when someone dies, because people make emotional decisions and not rational ones. So it seems like these scammers are really taking advantage of the heartbroken and the emotionally distressed, which I find frankly disgusting. But it'll never stop someone from making money. It's really sad. Like, people could die so many ways too, from old age to just, I don't know, homicides to just anything like that. But going from like one story about a homicide to another, I'm not talking about a manslaughter or real life homicide. I'm talking about an educational homicide. And that's how I get to Baltimore. Okay, students at 40% of Baltimore high schools failed math proficiency exam, calling it an educational homicide. So this is really bad. It seems like it's only gotten worse too. And I find this story very sad and very prevalent to talk about for mainly 2 reasons. One, it's about math. So Tech Tuesday adjacent. And 2, I am from Maryland, okay? I went to one of the best public school systems in Maryland. I was very fortunate and very blessed to do so. Well, I really got upset that just like less than an hour away, stuff like this is happening. How? I don't know. I know it's a multifaceted problem. I don't know the complete solution to it, but like whatever you're doing, do something else. I don't know what else to say. So these math students like are not proficient at all. And from what I read, it seems like only 11% of the students who are proficient at all. Like at the top schools in Baltimore, it was like 11% are proficient. It's just not the best. But I don't mean 11% of schools. I mean 11% of like all students. So I'm like, I don't know. I wish it for the best. Yeah, so that's what high school math is going. But we're gonna go a little beyond high school math right now. We're gonna go to college level math. Okay, if they're 40% failing this, I know like it'll be like 100% failing this next thing. Okay, We're going to talk about partial differential equations. I don't need to know what the heck this means, okay? I don't want to think about what this means either because this is giving me flashbacks to college and I don't want to think about this. But what you do got to know is these equations basically define all of just how the world works. All the laws of the universe, pretty much everything in the whole universe is modeled by these types of equations. The only problem, though, is that these types of equations can be notoriously difficult to solve, which is very irritating. Like, I think these types of equations I showed are like pretty much the easy ones, but in real life are not that easy at all. So it's very great that when we have AI tools able to solve these real quick, which is my next story. Machine learning models can produce reliable results to solve partial differential equations. But the kicker, though, is that use a limited training data in order to do this. So that's like the crazy part. They don't have to use these like millions of bunch of data anymore to be able to do it. They just need a limited amount of training data. Now, I know I got very curious. I was like, how the heck do you do that? I need to know how you do this. And I read up on it and couldn't get access to it. But I want to read more about it. The study just came out. At the same exact time, there was another AI new discovery that was unveiled. It's the physical process that powers a new typical of generative AI. So from this, it seems like they discovered a new way. Instead of just using the standard diffusion model, they discovered a new way in order to make these great AIs. And they got their inspiration from electric fields. So that's interesting. Brief excerpt from what is going on. The physics underlying poison models is entirely different. Poison model is the model that it's using in this new fancier one. Diffusion is the older one. Diffusion is driven by thermodynamic forces. Okay. Whereas poison flow is driven by electrostatic forces. Okay. The latter represents a detailed image using an arrangement of charges that can create a very complicated electric field. That field, however, causes the charges to spread more evenly over time, just as milk naturally disperses in a cup of coffee. The result is that the field itself becomes simpler and more uniform, but this noise-ridden uniform field is not complete blank slate. It still contains seeds of information from which the images can be readily assembled. So I won't act like I completely understand everything that's going on here. To be honest, I reread this over and over again, and I don't completely understand. But what I got from this is it seems like there's a new model that's different from the diffusion model, and it seems like a big discovery. So how much better is it than the older model? Well, it seems to be 10 to 20 times faster. It uses a physical construct, the electric field, in a way we've never seen before. That opens the door to the possibility of other physical phenomena being harnessed to improve our neural networks. So big if true, because 10 to 20 times is pretty fucking fast. If we have these neural networks, we use it to solve many different types of problems, like the one I'm about to show you right now. Anyone know what this is reference to? Well, you should know, because I know you definitely played this game before, and it's probably one of the most popular games, Wordle. Wordle is a very popular game. If you've been living under a rock, you know what? I'm not going to explain what Wordle is, because I feel like you should know what it is. Wordle is a game played by so many people. Everyone obsessed with the squares, and even now, Wordle has a daily user count of 250,000 user base, which is really good. I know being acquired from the New York Times probably helped, but that's really good. And Wordle is a very interesting game. You have to guess. You get clues on what the word is each time you guess a word. You have to figure it out. You know, we're talking about AI. So some people have taken the means to try to figure out the best optimal way to solve Wordle. This guy made a whole 30-minute video, I think it's really good, about how he proved scientifically the best opener is Crane based off information theory. So that's one way to go about it. You could like use Crane and learn more about information theory about how to find the optimal next guess. You could use AI to figure out some tools, use that 10 to 20x electrical field thing. Or you could do this third option, which is guaranteed to give you the right answer every single time and just cheat to win. Many Wordle users cheat to win, says mathematical expert. I read more about this, and it says, uses Diggler calculated that the odds of randomly guessing the date's words at 0.043%, totaling 860 players. Yet time statistics show that the number of players making correct first guesses in each game never dipped below 4,000. So that's like 4x. Do I mean to tell you that never, not once, was a share percent of the first guess less than 0.2%? Yep, it happens consistently every day. Some days as high as 0.5%, which would be 10,000 players get it right on the first try. So I know when I heard this, I was like, why would you do this? Why would you just cheat at Wordle? And Diggler did not have an explanation either. Other than that, other players became so frustrated at some point in the game and then felt joy or relief after having surpassed the hurdle with a cheat. We are baffled as to how first word cheaters actually have fun playing, but that does not diminish our enjoyment of the game. I guess my hypothesis was that you just want to flex. You just want to post those green squares, 5 green squares on your timeline. Because if you don't know, you can just go to inspector, okay, and you can do some like dev stuff, okay, and you can look up what the word is. The fact you can just look up and click inspect, you know, I guess you could always ruin the game like that, but that just takes away all the fun. So that's unlike my game, my Wordle clone, which I made during COVID. With my Wordle clone, look online and figure out, like, inspect and figure out what the word is, okay? That's why mine is way better than his. So a lot more complex too, a lot funner too. So that's just me. Yeah, basically what I'm saying is New York Times should have bought my game and not this guy who stole it from the game show. So that's all I'm saying. But in other news, if you want to know more about stuff I do and cool stuff like that game I just built and showed you, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. I hope you had a good Tech Tuesday. That's all I got for you guys. Hope you liked it. I'm here for any questions.